right, hello everybody. We'll take a minute. Mark Cukro here.
Bailey Draper.
And there's nobody at the academy today, so we figured we might as well take some questions live and then see what we can come up with for Jiu Jitsu, or if you have any questions in general. So we'll take a minute and we'll let all the likes come in and the questions come in. And then we'll see what we have coming up. And we'll definitely move the camera so you can see what we're doing. So if it shakes a little while it moves, forgive us, but we want to have some good dialogue. Hello, Kim. Hello, Randy. Good to see you. All right, let's see here. All right, awesome. Okay, let's see what else we have here. All right, I'm going to move this back. Bear with me. We're going to slide this back a little bit. There you go. Back some more. We'll move in and out. All right. John, good to see you. JP, my friend, good to see you. So we can start off with, if you like, with just some things to do at home, or we can answer specific questions, but really anything. And mostly, the more jiu-jitsu, the better, but if it's not jiu-jitsu, that's fine too. Ed, good to see you. Chris, hello. All right. We'll wait for some questions and see, but if you've never noticed, for those of you that are new, this artwork in the back, it's probably one of the nicest murals I've ever seen. Oh, there's Bailey. Hello, Bailey. It's around 33 feet long. One of our students made it. What an amazing thing to do. And it's the centerpiece of our mat on the wall. Let's see here. Mandy, hello. Good to see you. All right. Here we go. So go ahead, if you have a question, type it. Bailey's next to me with her phone so she can read the questions, and then if it's something that I can answer by myself, I will. If you have a request specifically for jiu-jitsu, then I'll move the camera back so you can see, and we'll do our best to give you an answer, an option, or an idea. And it could be really anything. All right. Darren, hello, Darren. Good to see you. Ryan. Lee, everybody's pouring in. Charlie, good to see you. Hello, Ashley, Liam. I know Liam's next to you. That's for sure. Nothing yet?
I didn't have Facebook.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. So we had a couple of requests, and one of them was for one was for a sweep, and then one was for a back attack. So if you have any, let us know. I see that the comments are pouring in, and the waves and the hellos. Yeah, it's good to see you too, Ashley. I saw from your post that you and Liam had some really nice kayaking. Go ahead, Ashley. What's your question? Brian Sims, good to see you. Bill, hello, Bill. If you want to go in and pull it up too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. Oh, we got 17 people. We're getting up there. That's good.
Can you go ahead and do the back attack while this is loading? Or the back take?
Yeah, let's see where it is here. Oh, let's see. Okay. When I go for a simple armbar, I always end up too far away from the arm and the back. Let's see. Ashley. Okay. All right, so you're going to have to tilt back so they can see. All right, good. Okay, perfect. All right, so Ashley, I assume it's from the guard, but we'll start from the guard, and if not, we'll get to the mount, but usually the mistakes are the same, okay? So, if the person's in your guard, in this case it's Bailey, what I want to do, and you'll see my feet too, if I cross my ankles, I have to turn my heels in. So I want to turn them in, and I want to point my toes up. And the more your toes are pointed up, the more your core muscles are engaged. So when you pull, and you do get this, you're going to lift and you're going to pull at the same time. There's a lot of ways to go to strip the grip here. Let's just start here. The main reason that people end up far away is they put this foot on the hip and they don't turn enough. So there's a couple things to do. Number one, hold here. You can grab here under the armpit. It doesn't really matter which way you want to do it. You can go from here, push the arm in. We'll start here. This foot goes on the hip, pinch. I have to turn my body 90 to 45 degrees. So I go sideways. Now the way to get sideways easier is to lift your hips up so there's no friction on the floor and it's easier to move. If I drag my back and my tailbone on the floor, push in, it's easy for this to happen. So I want to lift, turn. Now look, if my toes are pointed belly, sit up, go back. They're very weak, but if I go like this, sit up, it's very different. I want to lift my body off of the back of this leg, off of this foot while it's pinched, and shave the face. And now, there you go, okay? Now, can you lay on your back, sit belly, head here, feet here? Okay. With the armbar, one of the things that I see a lot is when the person gets swept over, there's kind of a distance between your body and their body, and that's what you have to eliminate, okay? So, if I have them, just roll towards me a little bit, and a person goes over, one of the first things that you should do or consider doing is to scoot in. This little scoot gets you close, pinch, now you have the arm, whichever one you want to grab. So the distance between here and the back of my hips, or the back of my legs, there has to be no space, okay? So that's one. So let's start in the guard again, okay? So just to kind of recap, if you're taking notes, I recommend you take notes if possible. Watch this over. But here, foot in the hip, pinch, toes up. I turn and I lift my tailbone just a little bit. Here, here. Now watch my toes. Over, and now the person rolls over, and I scoot in. And that'll really help eliminate the space that you don't want. If you want the space, good. If you don't want the space, you got to get rid of it. So in this particular case, as soon as you go, scoot up. And what exercises enforce that at home? So there's lots of little things that you can do. Move, get used to doing this, sitting up, scooting, sitting back. Watch, just sit up, scoot. Sit up, scoot. And that exercise will help you just get used to it. It's something that you have to drill. So I hope that helps, Ashley. If it doesn't, please let me know because we'll continue to add more detail. Matthew, good to see you. Hello. All right, we have 24 people. Good, very nice. Who has another question? I have Bailey over here right next to me going over what everyone's posting. But it could be anything. It could be techniques, anything that you want. Escapes, counters, throws, sweeps.
Escaping back attacks involving people with long legs like Bailey. Ed Dingus.
Okay, Ed. Okay, all right. So Ed wants anti-Bailey Jiu Jitsu. Okay, so let's go over a couple things with the back escapes. I'm going to scoot away so you can see. But let's show everybody what you're talking about, Ed. So thank you for the question. So Bailey, sit next to me. Okay, now Bailey is taller than me, for those of you that know. If we stand up, she's a couple inches taller than me. I don't know, several? I'm not sure. Okay, but if she sits next to me, put your knees right here. Her legs are literally this much longer. So when she gets on your back, it's more limbs to contend with, more of the limbs, right? So I have shorter legs, and Bailey has a good guard, which means she has good back mounts. Okay, so take me back, please. Okay, scoot back a little bit. Okay, so let's go over a couple of things. Number one, we already know I messed up, but here we are. Okay, so the minute this happens, I need to come up. So we're gonna do a drill, and Bailey's gonna teach me a reaction, and that is as soon as those hands come over, I scoot down. Now, when I scoot down, I'm not just sliding down and sliding away. I'm actually putting pressure on her legs. So try to watch my knees and my tailbone come off the floor just a little bit. And that's a lot of pressure here. Now the challenge is to do the movement while there's tension on his or her legs. So I'm here, I can have this here, I lift, there's a lot of pressure. Now what I want to do is bring the inside of my knee to the floor. Keep this here. There's a lot of pressure here still. Turn this way, please. So now what I'm gonna do is go here, and there's still pressure. I'm not sitting on the floor. Look how comfortable she is. It's no good. So I have to keep the pressure here, move, and now cup. A lot of times you'll just come over the leg. Put this foot here. So now if my foot doesn't block hers, she can switch her base, go right to the mount, or continue to take my back. Okay, that's right. So go back. So watch. Okay. So number 1, scoot. 2, pressure. Inside, sweep, out. Now watch, I'm going to shift my body while my tailbone's off the floor. Here. Now I put my foot over there. So let's scoot back into the camera, Billy. Okay, so this is off. I'm here like this. This foot has to go here. If I don't block this leg, it's going to come out. She's going to go to the mount. So I sit here and I hold this nice and tight. Now, try to choke her. It's very difficult for her to choke me because she's sitting on one elbow and this one's here. So I can take this foot and put pressure here, hold, put one hand, come off this after you push. So push, bring your foot off, and here we go. Now, slide back, and then you're out. So the length of the legs is a factor, but if you get that good positioning, so here's what it looks like without. They get on your back, scoot. You lift up a little bit. Swipe your foot. Put this foot out. You're basically going to do the same thing from this way. Out. Then what you do, and if you watch this, this principle is what we're doing to them. You push this knee, this one follows. So when the person is under you, you push the far knee away, and the close knee will follow, and then you put your leg under, and then you pass their legs, and it's much more difficult for them to recover the guard. Okay, so let me just build on that principle a little bit. Come here, please. Right here, feet here. Okay, so I just escaped the back mount, and I'm like this. If Bailey's legs are like this, she gets her leg under mine, she can recover guard, she can take my back again. This is no good for me. If I start to come up, that's what's gonna happen. Okay, so go back. So, when you're doing the escape, just push this, get this femur off the floor a little bit, put this under. Now, no matter what, she can't recover guard. All I have to do is prop this, yeah, that's it, just prop it. And it becomes, good move, it becomes a fulcrum now. Yep, and then I just follow. So that's a good tip to make sure the person, because the last thing you want to happen is you go, okay, man, I did a lot of work, I almost got out. And we don't want that to happen. We want you to do a lot of work and then actually get it. So I hope that helps. Let's see, who's got another question? We had Ashley, Ed, who else? Let's see here.
Maybe specific back attacks like the bow and arrow.
Is that a question?
But he
Okay.
said like attacks.
Let's see. Who said that?
Ed?
Sarah, hello. Julie. Marcus, hello. Good to see you here. Let's see. Rick. All right. Yeah, I'm thumbing past the screen. There we go. Half guard sweeps. Okay. So there's a lot of sweeps to do here. So let's start with one. Okay. And I like this one a lot. So we're in half guard. Yeah, come here, please. So it depends if my back is flat on the floor or not. So you can take this foot, and if you can see, yeah, you can see my feet. Okay, so here, tight, tuck this knee in. Yeah, if the person is like this, you can do a lot of things here. You can hook. You can do this if you want, that's fine. One, watch my feet though. Hold this here. 1, 2, very simple. This hand goes under the leg, and then I just move. Yeah, and now you come up. And if they catch your hand, pull your hand out post, then I come up, right? So the idea is that you're trapping everything on one side, and then you're bringing them over, okay? I will show you, this is kind of a cool back take. And so if I'm here, I think they can see, right? And so what you're gonna do is kind of float your energy right here. I take my right foot and I push. Now I have a back take. Yeah, I like that. All right, so come here. I'll turn around in just a second. I'll do it one more time. So I'm here, going for whatever sweep I want. My knee is here. Now, for the sweeps, if my knees are flat, hug my legs, it's easy to pass, okay? So just turn your toes up a little bit, and it's a little harder. When I go for this, and I could go for a scissor sweep this way too, she kind of just bases out right here and floats a little bit. I lead with the tip of my knee. I take this foot and I push here. And then you go right into the back take, okay? Let's turn from this side. Okay, so here I pull, and now Bailey's gonna give me the energy so you can see what I'm doing with my feet more so. So push, here. I take this foot out, there you go. Okay, so one more time. All right. Here, you can grab here. I like to do this is fine. Push, pull, yep, they don't want this. Here, up, and then right into whatever choke you want. We can do a bow and arrow from there, but whenever the person lands on their elbow, it's easy to get their neck, or easier, right? So give that a try. Let's
From
see.
Jeff Bell.
Jeff Bell, good to see you, Jeff. All right.
I would like to see counters to get out of their mount. I've always had trouble with this. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so let's look at a couple things from getting out of the mount. Okay, I'm not really sure what you mean exactly, Jeff. If you could add a little detail. Like, you mean with elbow escapes or trap and bridge? Or just what I do personally with little tips on how to shift weight? And I'll be glad to answer that for sure. As someone that's not very big, I'd prefer not to have a person that's skilled on top of me. I'd rather be moving around on top or on the sides for sure.
He said from full mount.
From full mount. Okay, now I'm gonna start here, and if, in your mind, if you go, it's not really what I was hoping for, shoot us a message, and then we'll change. But if it's what you want, that's awesome, okay? So for this, I'm gonna take my gi top off so you can see the contrast.
I said yes, bridge as well. Not sure.
Bridge as well, okay. All right, so let's start off with a couple of things here. Okay. Yep, all right, so just sit up for a second. What I don't want to happen, and you tell me if this is what happens to you. So if the knees are real high, that's a different issue, okay? So put the knees high, let's start there. This man, look, her feet are on the hip, you're in big trouble, okay? The other thing is my hands are facing away, which is a big problem for me. So if you turn your palms towards you, you can already see how the pressure is starting to build the tension on her femurs. So now what I'm going to do is load my feet like this. And you can hold on. Yep. Now what I'm going to do is move my hips as I move my shoulders. And now, don't move your knees high, it's very high. And now it's easier to frame. And then do whatever you want. Okay, so, and I know there's a lot that just happened in that. But here's the deal. If you can, while you're watching this, I want you to just do this. While you're watching and ask yourselves this question. If you carry something really heavy, do you hold it like this or do you hold it like this? And I think I know the answer, right? Most of you would say, well, I hold something like this. And that's exactly what you're going to do when you're on the bottom, because when your palms are up, your body is ready to hold something heavy, carry a load. When it's like this is what you do when you push. So you can't really push and expect to have a lot of power when you're on the bottom and someone's got you in the mount, okay? So, for a second, if Bailey's mount is really high, how can I push this way? It's very difficult. But if I go here, look at my elbows come in. Now I can move and make space to frame and then do the elbow escape, okay? The other part of this, for a second, please. So, high mount. Yeah, okay. Is I'm going to start moving my hips to try to offset the feet. So I move, and what I don't want is to ever give up ground that I've gained during this escape process. Now, this goes here and here. And what I want to do is drive with my feet to put all the weight on this side here. Now I escape, and I keep my foot here so the person doesn't hop up to knee on velvet. frame again, move, bring this one in, and now you can start all over again. So one of the common things that happens is in the middle of the escape, can you sit up on your knees, please? Up, like this, yeah. Is your foot comes completely off, and they jump to knee on the belly. So just keep it here. And it'll help, right? There's no miracle answer, but it does make a difference because when they try to disconnect, yeah, you have a connection to them, and then you can adjust. But if my foot is like this, I've got nothing. Okay, so I hope that helps a little bit from the mount escape. Let us know, please. Jeff, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, Jeff, let me know if that helps or even a little bit. And I appreciate everybody tuning in, watching this, being patient, asking questions. We're all doing the best we can right now. And I find that when you watch videos from whoever, me, somebody else, and you start to really analyze them and go down, you're going to pick up a lot more than you think. And anytime I have a student that has an injury of some sort, they got hurt at work or doing who knows what, and they sit in the lobby and they watch and they take notes, they always, and I mean always, are surprised at how much they learned. So definitely keep watching for sure. What else do we have?
JP Charlotte says, what are your favorite opening moves? In past roles, I've noticed that you like to grab sleeve.
Yeah, so, okay, so let's go over grips for a second, please. Can you grab me the tennis balls? All right, JP, thank you for asking. And grips are extremely important in Jiu Jitsu. Now, what I will say is you have to know how to use Jiu Jitsu without grips, as well as you do with grips. So in my opinion, this is just my opinion, if you have a different one, wonderful for you, awesome. If you agree, awesome. But you have to learn how to use grips. If your Jiu Jitsu is grab sleeves first and all you do is grab sleeves, when you don't have sleeves, you might be in trouble. So I think you need to train in both. If you constantly grab the collar and a sleeve and that's all you do, and you don't really have a good B game or a C game, when you lose those grips, you're gonna be in trouble. So not everyone has a gi, but I think you should have jiu-jitsu that will work gi and no gi. Now, if you have the gi, I'm gonna grab the gi, for sure. If you don't have the gi, I have nothing to grab. But what I recommend is you grab two of these, one of you trains with them, and one of you trains without. And if somebody drops one, that's it, you lost the match, just like you got a submission. So I would drop these, but when it comes to grips themselves, okay, so come here, Valley, for a sec. Let me put my gi top on. Go over a couple of ideas with the grips, and just a couple, because we could probably spend hours on grips alone. And you have to look at the purpose of your grip, right? Are you trying to do a throw, or are you trying to restrict their movement and make them a little more immobile? And if you're trying to immobilize someone, it's very different than if you're trying to throw them. So, okay, let's just start with this here. And JP, let me know if this helps, and I appreciate the question, my friend. Okay, if I'm trying to move to her back, I am not gonna pull like this. Because my elbow's up, even if my palm is up, I may be able to do this, but I don't have a lot of ability to have lateral control. So when you grab here like a pistol grip, first of all, make sure your thumb's not in there. If you like your thumb, take it out. Pull, and you're gonna use your body at the same time and then push and turn. Now, if it's just my arm and my arm is bent, pull your arm back. It's your arm versus mine. So when you get this, if you can straighten your arm, now it's very different, and then you can come in. Because now when your arm is straight, you have one bone behind the other, and if they do move, it's usually gonna benefit you. And now you have, yeah, exactly. And now you can come around and do whatever, okay? Now, that's okay. If she's pulling, let's move over here a little bit. Okay. And I can do this standing up, but I want to make sure we stay on screen. Pull. If I'm like this, yeah, I'm weak because my elbow's away from my body. Pull. Pull, pull, pull. I'm here all day. Now you have to make sure that you grab, not like this, and this goes up. Now if you do pull, pull. I'm going to go with you. Right? So what you have to understand that if someone grabs your sleeve or you grab their sleeve, do you want to just hold and pull on each other, or do you want to pull and have them pull you? And so the purpose of the grip becomes really important. If you're passing guard and you don't want the person to pass your guard, or you don't want them to recover guard, then you have to make sure that you grab the sleeves a certain way. If you're passing guard, there's no way that you would really, I mean, you could, but I wouldn't grab the pistol grips too much. So I don't know if that helps with grips, JP, but that's kind of what I would do. And then you mentioned when we start, right? Okay, so if we're here, what do? Okay, so come forward a little bit, Bailey. This is a simple, old school, really nice one. You start grabbing, and usually I'll put this hand here so they grab. And now I'm going to go this way and walk right around. And then take the position. You just have to make sure that when you're driving a grip, that you don't have your arm bent, because then it's arm versus arm. This is you fighting the muscles in my arm. This is you fighting my weight. It's totally different. And now I can go around and then let go and then re-attack. So I hope that helps. Let's see who's got another question.
Sweep from De La Riva.
Sweep from De La Riva. Okay, so who asked that question?
Frank Lord.
Frank, okay, hello. So let's see what we can come up with for you, Frank. Don't let Frank fool you. That guy's slick, man. You got some good jiu-jitsu, my friend. It was good to hear from you. Okay, so can you move your phone so you don't land on it? All right. So we'll go over the basic one. So let's start here. Okay. So we have this. So this is here, turn on the thigh here. If I have her sleeves, I'm probably not going to bring her head over my body. If I have the collar, I probably am. You'll see a lot of people push the far knee, and I'll get to that in just a second, okay? Because typically what people do here is they squat down and they grab your foot. And I'll show you something in just a minute. So this is a simple one. I put my foot right on the hip. The ball of my foot is right on the tip of her pelvic bone. Here, palms up, push, pull, lift, and over you go, right into a triangle, okay? So let's watch. I'm gonna lift her and then I'm gonna turn this way. Okay, so here, you start to pull, you grab that foot, I'm coming up. Now, as I fall, I lift, right? Okay. So the thing is, just like in throws, Kazushi, sweeps are the same. You have to take their momentum, and you can either steal it, hitchhike it from it, or slingshot from it. And this one, before she's completely finished moving, I'm already elevating her body, then getting the sweep. Now, let's show you from this angle, when they start grabbing this foot. So I can go here, and you'll see a lot of people do this. They push, and the person grabs your foot. Yeah, so go ahead. So what I'm gonna do is bring this down. Go ahead, hold, bring it down, put this here, this hand lets go, up you go, into the pass. Okay, so let's get a little closer. Can you see us in the camera?
Yeah.
Pretty much? Okay. All right, here we go, like this. So you start to push. They grab your foot. Make a circle with your foot. So grab, hold on, push it down, do whatever you think you should do to pass. We're gonna start playing pummeling with this. So this goes here and I go here. Up. And then back. And so that's an option. But the idea is, and Frank, if you're watching, here's a drill that we do. I know you've been training a long time, but kind of a fun game to do when you're teaching this, okay, so the rally is, I'm gonna get the same grip, go to both knees, please. Yep, I'm just gonna keep my feet here, stand up, put your back down, go back down, stand up, and then put it back down. And so you get used to stand up. Look, I'm late, no good, go back down. Right now is when you lift. And then you get the sweep. Now stand up, get the hook in deeper, and now you can give them direction. Yeah. And then you got it, and you put them back down. So that's an option. I appreciate you asking that question, Frank. Anybody else? Let's see who we have. Bailey's checking everybody's requests.
JP also asked, what's your mindset when going into a role? What should ours be?
Okay, so, man, JP, you got some questions that I could really get deep on. But the idea is, and let's talk about this from you watching this today. When you're training with someone, what's your goal? My goal is to get better. If you're trying to win against your training partners, in my opinion, you're not a very good training partner. If you're trying to learn from your training partners, Now you're a good training partner, and both people can benefit more. Now, should you try to win rolls? Of course. But what do you really win when you're training against your teammates? What your teammates are supposed to do is build each other up. So it goes team, teammates, me. And if that gets out of order, you're probably going to have a lot of teams, or you won't really have a lot of good training partners or people that are eager to train with you. Now, say I've been training for a really long time, and I have, half my life, and someone's a blue belt or a purple belt. I'm just going to play around, man. Now, if they think it's a title shot, then, oh, hang on, let's train. Now, if we both, before we start, go, all right, man, let's pick it up and get at it, then we're going to get at it and have some good training. But training for me is not winning against the person. Training for me is how do we both benefit from this while I get to work on what I need to work on. And so that's my mindset. The other thing is, and believe me, especially if you're a coach, and if you're not a coach, your coach, in my opinion, should think this way. We are not here to hurt each other. I would rather let go of a submission and say, hey, man, why didn't you tap? And the person could say, well, I was laying on my hands. I couldn't tap. I didn't know what to do. Fine, I let go. Nobody's hurt. We can train. But if you injure somebody, you might have just injured the best training partner that you ever had. And now what? Because you wouldn't let go, or you didn't realize they couldn't tap, that you injured them, and now they can't train, and you lost a good training partner. So the main thing is to be a training partner that looks out for the health and welfare of everybody on your team while you improve every single day. And you can do that the right way. You can be tough and technical and go fast and go hard, but not be like super rough and trying to wreck your training partners. Because at the end of the day, you're all wearing the same patch, you're on the same team. And if you ever have to move, you better hope that you go to a good team. And the way to build a good team is by having a good attitude and culture. And whatever your attitude is going to multiply wherever you go. So that's my input, JP. I hope that answers your question.
Jose Garcia asks, how do you get the hooks in when taking the back?
Okay, Jose, can you add a little more detail to that, my friend? Like, how do you hold the hooks, or how do you actually insert the hooks? And let's see what he says.
Aaron Campbell says, what's your go-to attack from the mount without gi?
So mount without gi, man, that's a lot. Okay, so I'll work on Jose's, and then Aaron, we'll get to that too. Now, Aaron, are you trying to take the back or get a submission from the top? Let me just ask you that. That might change what I do. And I appreciate you asking questions. And I'm just trying to ask a little more information because I feel like when you watch these, you may think in your mind of a specific thing, and I really want to know what that specific thing is. So the more specific you are, the more specific I can provide an answer.
Jose says, when transitioning.
Okay, all right, so let's start a couple of things. So let me just work on a drill for a second, okay? So when I'm here, like this, and you see this drill, a lot of people do this. You're gonna go this way, and you're not touching the floor at all, right? Here, just like this. You could even be on your knee and do this and slide, okay? So this could go this way. So what happens? Bailey, come here, please. Head here, feet here, cross side. Okay, so Jose, this is for you, and if this is something different, let me know. But I don't want this arm under mine. If this arm is under mine, I really can't take her back. I mean, I can, but I have to do a lot of work. What I want to do is get both double underhooks. This goes under by the clavicle. Here. Yeah, see? Okay. Now what I'm going to do is bring this leg, and you can grab the pants, you can hook, either way. So for now, what I'm going to do is drive off my right foot, go to the shoulder, and when you bring their knee up, this one's going to come closer and leave a gap right here. This goes in. Now I just fall. And because I'm not very tall sometimes, I can't get the second leg over. So what you do is just get a seatbelt grip, cross your ankles, bridge, and then get the hook. And then in they go. So let's do this one more time. Okay, turn this way a little bit. I want you to watch my left foot, this one. Okay, so here, the arms are all on that side. Shoulder, you can even, if you want, lift the person's head when they try to go back down, just go this way. Now look, this hook comes in, over, pull. Now what I'm going to do is bridge, just like this, and get that in. Okay, I'm sorry, it's very uncomfortable. All right, so the idea is to make a little space and always slide the bottom, not always, but pretty much. slide the bottom one in first, because when you get the bottom hook, that's the hook that controls their body, their posture, and their spine. When you open them up, the second one can go in. So I hope that helps, Jose. I hope it answers your question. And then next one was from the mount, right?
Mm-hmm. Mount with no gi.
Mount with no gi.
They haven't clarified anything.
Okay. That was Aaron, right?
Mm-hmm. He said, what's your go-to attack from the mount without gi?
Okay. So let's go over a couple, okay? So let me take my gi off. Okay. Yeah, please, if you don't mind. I'll give you a couple of ideas, and then we'll take it for. Can you put your head here and your feet on the side? So we'll start with the right side. Come this way a little bit. All right, awesome. Okay, so now, here's the deal. Of course, let's just go over a basic principle. Put your hands on my hips. Okay, bench press me. It's very easy. So you don't want to ever have your weight evenly distributed. Bench press, just turn one hip, lift, push. It's very easy now. Okay, so when the person pushes, I'll typically move. The other thing I like to do is I just kind of move their head to the side a little bit. So slide this way. Okay, now, if my knees are under the arms, it's easy to go for the neck, arms, take the back, whatever. So I'll give you kind of a couple of ideas, but one that I like to do is when you do this, and let me just go over this for a second. See where her wrist bends? I don't want to have my hand here and try to push her arm down. Yeah, it's just, it's just, you have more muscle. I'm not at the end of the lever. So when I put my hand kind of half on and half off, like this, push. It's very difficult for her, him, whatever. And now, what I like to do is turn my hand this way, and don't let me put your arm down. And now, because my elbow's in, my core is engaged. And then I go this way. Now, a lot of people will do, you know, kind of counters, but watch, this is pretty slick. So my elbow goes down, I put my hand in, and they bring their elbow up. And what I do is I bring this hand to here, I push their head, and then I have a really nice Americana. Okay, so turn this way. So watch, this is here, this goes down, up, and they try to answer the phone. So I just grab and I pull, and I move their head away, and then just like that. And this could be here. And then what you do is you just pull away, and you'll feel it in the elbow as well. So that's one. You know, there's a lot of things to do, but on the bottom, you don't want the person to be comfortable. If she's just like hanging out defending, I've already failed at most of my jiu-jitsu at this point. So I have to start making the person uncomfortable. Move here. Yeah, as soon as they do, I'm gonna start to move. Now watch, I move my hips, and then I move in here. Turn. Now you can start to attack, right? And there's a lot of things that you can do here. I like to keep this position. If I get this or this, and I like to do this too, push down and slide this further, drop back and drive over. And man, it's unpleasant. And now they can't even block because one hand's on top of the other. Choke comes in, push the head, down you go. So those are a couple. Something else, let's move back here. Okay, for this, specifically for you guys that do no-gi, turn this way, please. Other way. I want you to watch my feet, okay? So when I have the hooks and they start to push, what I'm gonna do, go ahead, push my hips, whatever, I'm gonna slide back and bring my legs like this. And I don't do grapevines a lot, but what I'm gonna do is move her head as far as I can, bring this here, pull, push, or turn this way. And so you have a lot of things to work with. If the person is very flexible, open, walk your foot back, get it in the hinge of the knee, pull, and then lead with the tip of your knee. And I'm loosening up on her ankle to do this. And look, here. And so that's really slick. You have to be careful though. If you do this very quickly, you could injure the person's knee. Same thing with here. So I like to just hold, walk, and then hip in. Bailey. All right, let's see what else we got. So, Aaron, I hope that gives you a couple things to think of. Jeffrey, good to see you. Ben Meneses, oh my goodness. Good to see you, man. It's been a long time.
Ken's asking for cardio building drills.
Ken
Tran.
Ken Tran. All right, Ken. I'm going to do some cardio on a different video, if you don't mind, my friend. Ken and I go way back, and I want to do just some technique today, and what I'll do is I will be glad to make you some cardio workouts, and then you can do them as much as you like. But let's see if you have a technique question, Ken. Let's see what we have.
Frank Lort says, how do you encourage a spaz newbie to relax and flow?
Okay, man, Frank. Okay, how do you encourage a person that spazzes to chill? Okay, first, okay, if you're a serious, seasoned person in jiu-jitsu, you have dealt with this person, okay? So there's a couple of things, and this is why I personally don't let people roll right away. They don't even know how to bridge. They don't know what a tap is. They don't even understand what a joint manipulation is. And so they move or say ow instead of tap and then have the person let go. So, a couple things. Okay, I like to do the isolation part, so come over here for a second on your back. Okay, so we're gonna do it, come this way a little bit, all right? Yep, so when I know that the person's a spaz, I'm gonna start here, then I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. I want you to just turn towards me. Okay, go. Go. And I'm gonna get the person, okay, now, so sit up for a second here, okay? So you're gonna be kind of that person, okay? Man, take it easy, yeah, okay. Oh, go ahead, keep coming, keep coming. Okay, that's it, tap, tap, tap. All right, start over, man. Okay, and I do this, and sometimes people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, hang on, man, relax, chill. Move over again, watch. This is how we're gonna start, okay? If you go faster than me, I'm gonna stop you. And I do this all the time, Frank, and this is helpful. Match my speed. If you go faster, we stop. Go quick. Oh, stop. Okay, all right. A little bit slower. Good, slower. Start over. Okay, all right, look, come here. Bailey's being good, right? Okay, thank you, Bailey. Slow. Too fast. Yep. Go, move. Yep, come on, a little faster. Good, that's it. Good. Pass. Very nice. Good job. Yep. Okay. And that's it then. We just kind of immediately set the tone. Stop, and I reset them. Does it work all the time? No, because there's always that guy or that person. But I find that when you set the tone right away, they typically will respond a little bit better, because usually when people are brand new, they go into fight mode, they don't go into grappling mode. And it takes a while to kind of, I guess, temper that switch so they can be a little bit more poised in the pocket. So I definitely would do that. And, when you wait a couple of weeks, you can do whatever you want in your academy. It's your academy. But for people that roll day one, I don't think it's a good idea, because you have that a lot. And the people that do that typically are the ones that get injured the most. So that's my advice. And Frank, if you're asking this, for someone else, if Frank tells you to chill down and slow down, believe me, he's been training a long time. It's probably a good idea.
Mike Ginnenberg, arm lasso defense.
How to pass that? Is that what you're saying,
lasso
Mike?
Defense.
Man, I got a couple I want to save just for you. I want to save a couple just for you if you don't mind, but I could show you a couple of things, okay? So watch this, okay? So what I'm going to do is, let's do this from here. If you don't mind, Mike, I'm going to change it on the same concept and the same principle, but I'm going to add it to a bicep slicer, okay? So let's watch this, okay? Do you remember what we did the other day? Okay, so lay down. Okay, and she's doing this with my wrists just so you can see what's going on a little bit better. So grab my wrist. She's going to leg lasso. Yeah, like this. I start to pass, and she goes for the bicep slicer. Yeah, okay. Now she starts to extend with the tip of her knee, and I got a submission, okay? So number one, let's do this. Sit up, please. Can you submit me now? No, okay. So when you sit the person up, yeah, it's uncomfortable, but it's not really going to injure your joint or anything like that. Slide over this way a little bit. Slide down. Okay, so now watch, okay? So same thing, put your foot in. Yeah, here. When the person does this, I like to do this, I put my knee right. So what I'm going to do is sit them up and put this right here. Now watch. There's an armbar right there, okay? So this is pretty slick, okay? Now, when you get this, sometimes a person will try to pull their arm out. So yeah, so go back. So when the arm is in here, I like to go over, and all the weight now is pull your arm out. You can't pull your arm out, okay? So let's back up so you can see that a little more. Okay. Now I'm going to put a gi top on. For some of you that are watching this, you might think, well, man, who does leg lasso without a gi? We do with a gi all the time. But you got to be careful with the leg lasso too. Like anything else, there's a million counters to everything. Okay. So I'm in her guard. She grabs my sleeve. She got go around. Grab my sleeve, please.
Sorry.
Yep. Okay. Here. So I start to pass, and I make the mistake of going just like this. Yeah. And so what I want to do is sit them up and put my knee right here. Yep. Now look. Here. I got the armbar right here. Watch. Here. Put your weight on. Hip in. Okay. Now what I am going to do is go here and do it, and it's even worse. Okay. Now watch. I'm trying to do this slow and easy. Come here, please. Okay. Grab my sleeve. Leg lasso. Here. I start to pass. She goes. I sit her up, and I go right just like this. Here. In. Over. One. Pull. This hand comes out. And then I have an armbar right there. All right, Mike, I hope that helps. Sarah, hello. Daniel, good to see you. Oh, we got a lot of people coming in.
Jose asked, guard breaking passing with someone with long legs.
Okay, I think this is directed towards you. She's got a mean guard. Okay. Let's see. Do we have any others? I'll try to put them together if possible. No? Okay. Jose Garcia? Yeah. Jose, standing or kneeling? Let's see what he says. All right. We'll give him a minute. So what's everybody doing? Why don't you comment and tell us where you are? Are you at home wishing you were training? Are you out doing something else? Larry, good to see you.
Mike says high mount defense.
High mount defense. Mike Dannenberg? Mm-hmm. Mike, I'll tell you what, listen, when you replay this, it was like the first or second one. Mm-hmm. I think you might have missed that one. So come in, when you watch this, go to the front of the video, and I think it's the first technique. But I think you'll like what we showed. It's when the person's knees are really high under your armpits. And just some ideas on how to get out. Let's see. All right. Armando, good to see you. Oh, we got everybody here. What am I? Okay, I'm looking at all the questions. I'm going to come in and swipe up all these questions here. There we go. Oops. I know everybody wishes they were here. That's for sure. Me too. Believe me. We'll definitely get past all this. It's a matter of time. All right, so let's do this. Let's do a couple things, if you don't mind. I had this question come up a lot, Jose. And that is, how do you stay in posture? And I think anyone that trains under Master Pedro Sauer really probably knows this. But if you're new or you're not, if you don't train with him or his people, I'd like to go over just a couple things, because all guard passing starts with you not getting your posture broken. Over under pass too. Is that from Jose?
That's from Mike.
Mike Dannenberg? Mm-hmm. Okay, all right, so let's go over a couple things. So if you don't mind, I'd like to just explain some of the basic principles. Put me in guard, please. Okay. Oh, you want camera? Okay, so let's look at this. Now, I'm going to turn my hips this way. And you can see her move and me move. Now, if I look down, my hips, are forward, and my spine curls a little bit. So pull, it's very easy. Okay. Now, all I do is I look up and I move my hips. Pull, that's it. She can do crunches all day. I'm not even going to get out of breath. So this is the first thing. How do you get up here if you're down? That we can do that a little bit later. But starting the passing is this. Okay, so go ahead, please. Yeah. And now, if the person is really heavy and strong, you just lift your hips off your heels a little bit. Pull. Yep. And then turn. Now, I keep this on the femur because I don't want this coming in. And now they're going to grab sleeves, and you had a mess on your hands. Okay, so here. Okay. Up, please. I lift up and I push down and I lay right on this leg. Now here, and these toes are out. Move, please. Yep. Right. I'll put your guard again. Okay, so now Bailey is taller than me, and I said this earlier, and she has long legs, and sometimes it's really tough, which is what you're talking about, Jose. But if you look at it, when someone crosses their feet and they put you in the guard, their body is oblong, their legs, right? Pull. So my challenge is to turn enough to put weight on their ankles. And some people will put their hand in, and you can do that. Personally, I try not to do this too much. I'd rather work. The other thing is you have a principle, hold on tight, of reciprocation, right? So hold tight, pull, do a crunch. And this arm has to be straight. If it's bent, it's my arm versus her leg. Tight, hold on, pull, crunch, here. And now I have to put weight on this femur, and over I go. And now you can have your foot pass, move. So, Jose, I hope that idea helps a little bit, but you have to have good posture first. And if you don't have good posture, man, you're gonna have a lot of work ahead of you that's unnecessary. All right, let's see what else we got.
Over underpass.
Okay, we have anything else? Okay, the
Major
over.
Sauer was watching.
Oh, okay. Master Sauer, Professor, good to see you. We're sharing some of your jiu-jitsu. Just the two of us are up here trying to keep people interested, and not trying, we are keeping people engaged in jiu-jitsu. So thank you for all that you pass on to us, as always.
Very nice, my friend. Thank you for sharing.
Okay. Now the over-under pass, we could do that really. I mean, we could spend a lot of time on that pass. But I do want to give you another idea with passing, okay? So, come here a second. I want you to watch my hips more than anything, okay? So whether I'm like this, I'm like this, it doesn't really matter. I could be here, which is what I think you're talking about. You see how my hips are away, and they're all the way back. It's very, can you move please, Shrimp? It's very easy for the person to move. Come forward please a little bit more, scoot in. Okay, so what is harder for her is when I turn my foot out and bring my hips in. Now move. It's very difficult. And now I'm already past. So if I'm like this, it's very easy for the person to start playing with their feet and grabbing their sleeves, and it's a nightmare. So come in, please. So if you're here like this, and it could be anyway, you could be like this too, right? If this knee is up here, and I'm fighting this knee, instead of trying to push it under, which you'll see a lot of people push this leg under, just lay on the leg. And now, switch your base. Get under it, and there you go. So sometimes you just have to get under the leg, but if the person's legs are up, and you lay on them, and now you have weight on them, it's a lot harder for them to act, to engage with their feet. So I hope that adds a couple of little tips, but to do an entire pass, we could spend a really long time on that. So come into the academy when this is all said and done, and I'll be glad to go over that in great detail. What else we got? One or two more, and that's it. Gus Ham, hello, thank you. Good to see you. Okay, we could do some knee bar, whatever you want, that's fine.
Mike Gutenberg says similar to yesterday, question mark.
Yep, similar. Okay, some of you guys I've seen already just recently, so thank you for asking and getting back on.
Knee bar sound good.
Knee bar sound good? Okay, so I'm going to do this from two angles, the front angle and then the back, and then we'll get into the knee bar itself. So if anybody likes to play X guard or open guard, I think this is a good option. I started doing this, a long time ago. So you can be here, of course, playing this game. She grabs this, and I bring it here, and I go underneath. Okay, now, the thing about the knee bars from here is you don't want your arm down here. Not really. You really want to have it up here like this and get a grip. And many of you know this, but if you don't, this is important. What I'm going to do is push and then let go with this hand. So I'm going to push, let go, and here we go. Now I roll, and this is where the knee bar comes on, right here. And that's it, okay? All right, one more time. Let's try. Okay. So let's just start with this here. Here, push, heel in the hip. I have to lift my hips, pinch my knees together. Put your hand behind your head, you'll see why in a second. Over, and now roll into the knee bar. Here, you keep it here too. I like to hook like this, because if I'm here like this, put your foot on my leg and pull away. It's easy to pull this. Here, not so much. Go ahead. Like that. Now push. Yeah, I can just pull. That's fine. And then back. Now, this goes here. 1, 2, toes up, pinch, bridge into the knee bar, okay? Now let's turn from this side, okay? Over here, please. So the drill for this, to get you good, is this hip-ups drill, okay? All right, hips up. I think I said hip-ups. All right, come here. So here, like this. Here, the person starts messing around with your feet. I'm going to push here and roll. And now look, here. Now, what I want to do is turn towards the kneecap. And that's it. Feet in, toes up, knees pinched, bridge. For some of you, so come here a second. Can you put your head here and lay your back? All right. A little bit more towards me. Okay. When I get a knee bar, let's just start with a couple things. I prefer to have their hips off the floor, just like this. Now, if you can see her foot, put this leg down. It's free to move. That's no good for me. So when I have this, try to put your head against the foot. Now rotate, put your leg out, straighten it out so they can see. It's very difficult because it's against my head. And you can feel this in your knee alone here. And you can do knee bars whatever way you want. That's totally fine. Turn, there you go. But your knee, and this is a good comparison, and of course there's variations, but your wrist locks are like ankle locks. Your elbows are like your knees, your hips are like your shoulders, and your neck, well, that's like your neck, right? So whatever you do to secure an arm bar, you're going to do to secure a knee bar, so on and so forth. So when you get really good at one, the same principles should transfer over to the other one.
Ryan Taylor asks, can we see some triangle setups?
Sure. From, I wonder if it's from top or bottom.
Mike asked, is your ankle in danger on the roll?
Okay, not really. So your ankle's on the roll if you don't spin. He's talking about from the knee bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's try. All right, come here, Billy. So let's try to break this down. Mike, you tell me if this is what you're talking about, and if it's not, please let me know. Okay, so I suspect he means this ankle. So when I go here, I mean, but you can't do it. Go ahead, do whatever you want with this ankle. This is very difficult to do anything to this ankle because I'm just going to lift, right? So I go here. Now, as long as my hips come up and my foot goes over your body, when I land, there's no danger for my ankles here at all. Okay, I mean, there's really nothing you can do as long as I have this. When I roll, there's no danger. I can keep this here. That's a really good knee bar. Or I could change and do this. And I like to do this because you can drive off the floor. You can drive off the person's body, and that's effective too. But there's really not much. The challenge when you have someone land on your ankle is because you didn't lift your hips enough. If you lift your hips really high and get over them and roll, it's a lot harder for them to land on you. So I would recommend hips up really high, rotate, and usually on the second rotation is a much tighter knee bar than the first. But if you get it on the first, go for it. But when you're spinning, it's easier for you to spin and face the kneecap, just like you would the elbow. Thumb up, same thing. You want to face the back of the elbow. So that's probably the best advantage that you can get. But lift your hips high and rotate and then pinch everything tight. And then use your body. Don't let the foot separate from you.
That cleared it up for him.
Okay, good. Thank you. I'm glad. All right, I appreciate it.
Ryan Taylor says triangle setups from the bottom.
From the bottom. Okay. Now, we could do a couple things here, okay? So, yeah, let's start here. Okay, so I'm just going to go over a couple of them nice and quick, okay? So, of course, we have this here. And put your hands up like you're going to pass guard. Yep, just like that. Here, obviously here, put your hands, just get posture. Just right here. I like this, over, here. Okay, so posture, pinch, and I get, look, my foot here. Now, this just goes and I turn completely sideways. So that's one, right? I don't really go for triangles unless they're given to me, pretty much. Of course, you have all of these, right? Here's a good one too. When you go here, catch yourself with this hand, out. This is a good one. Hips over, like that. I don't know if that helps, Ryan, but I don't do a lot of spinning triangles. But one of the ideas, and I'll give you a couple of tips on this, okay? So let's start here. I get a triangle choke, and the person wants to come in. Okay, go back. Don't let this happen. So let's work on this a little bit, if you don't mind. I just put my hands here, come in, and I just shoulder walk, and then they put the triangle on tighter. So that's a really good tip. The thing with triangles is you have to make sure that your hips are up, or they can fold you in half, and then it's a lot easier to counter. And then, of course, people will sit back as well, too. But I can show you one from the top. Come here, Belly. Okay, so lay down, please. Yeah, this way. Put your head towards the camera. Scoot this way. Yep. Okay. So when you're here, this is just like this. Here, you'll see this a lot. And here, over, pull, and now you have a really nice triangle choke. Here, okay, I didn't even get it all the way on, it's already on. So that's a really nice setup. So what that looks like, let's get a little closer, is when you're here, like this is here, just push it down. Now they can't really use the other arm, so if you want the triangle, pull this up and grab your own shin. And now you can move, you can roll if you want. You can just stay here, triangle, armbar. So those are some ideas. Let's see what else we got. One more, everybody. And then I'll upload this and make sure it's on Facebook for a while. Last one, let's see what we can come up with. All right, if you're still watching this too, type in and let us know where you're watching from, what academy you train at, and what city and state you're in. It's great to just see how much we can reach each other as a jiu-jitsu community. And I appreciate you tuning in. You could be doing anything on a Friday night other than this, so I appreciate it.
Mike says far side armbar from Kisa, Mike Vandenberg.
Okay, so let's go over a couple of these, okay? So, come here, please, head here, you here. Okay, you good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so far side armbar. Man, there's a lot of these here, so let's turn this way. So I'll start off with a lot that people already know, and then we'll kind of take it from here. So this is one here, like this, two, here, like this. This is down, I go, pull up, scoot under, here. So there's a lot. Something I like you can do too is when this elbow is here and this one's tight and they know you're going after this arm, is just go here, 1, 2, over. That's a nice one. So just depends. The far side armbar itself, you get above the wrist like we talked about earlier, get this here, pull, step over, up, slide in, and that's a good option too. So, all right, one more. Okay. Turn this way. Okay. So now, these are, just a couple of ideas. And really to break them down, let me know if you're ever in the area, just come by and say hello and train when we're here. But this is 1, 2, you can go here, and what I do is I post on my hand and I bring this knee up. My right foot comes in like this against the body. When I sit back, it comes up, and I hug and I curl in. Now what also helps this is this pinch here, and you roll the elbow, and that's a good one too. Over, here you go. Okay. So yeah, I hope that helps, Mike. Those are just a couple of ideas. And you don't always have to go for the most conventional armbar, but you should know the most conventional arm bars. So go with your bread and butter. And a lot of times, when people are new, they go through like the skill development, the assimilation of learning how to move. Then after a while, they go through like a technique acquisition phase where you want to learn as much as possible. And then after a while, you're like, okay, I'm done with that. Now I want to get as good as possible at a few things and develop my own style. And then when you get a black belt, you look at your belt and go, man, I got a lot of jiu-jitsu to learn. And then you'll really begin to understand where jiu-jitsu starts for you. So I definitely would recommend that. Again, we've put it on here for, do we have any more? Is that it? Okay. To everyone, thank you very much. We're going to be doing this. I've got some lessons online for anyone that's interested. And they're free. I just want to send them to you. And make sure that you thank your coach if you have a coach that does their best and goes out of their way for you. And you know, a lot of us coaches and owners, we put our heart and soul into what we do, into our jiu-jitsu. And I always make a point to thank my instructor, Master Pedro Sauer. Thank you so much. We definitely, and I know you say it all the time, but the more I train, the more I know it's true, is we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So thanks for sharing your jiu-jitsu so we could share it with more people. But when you do jiu-jitsu, most importantly, look out for your teammates. Be the kind of training partner everyone hopes they get to train with, not the one that I hope they don't have to train with. And then share good, technical, mechanical jiu-jitsu. And if you took all the muscle off your body, what would your jiu-jitsu look like? Now put it all back on, and oh my goodness, that's going to be even better. So thank you for everything, and you guys take care. Share this with anyone that you think may be interested. But best wishes to everyone. We'll see you soon. And Bailey, thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right. So take care and have a great weekend. See you soon.